The Detroit Lions are now on the outside of the playoffs looking in, very reminiscent to that 2022 NFL season when they were 9-8 and just missed off on the playoffs by half a game. Well, we still got 7 more games to go, but the Detroit Lions' fate is not in their hands anymore. They are going to need some help from other teams. Now, the good news is we do play the 2 teams that are ahead of us in our division twice, and the bad news is that Minnesota right now has a win over us. So we essentially need to go 3-3 in the division to make it into the playoffs. That's probably what's going to have to happen. So we're going to have to beat the Chicago Bears on the road. We're going to have to beat the Minnesota Vikings at their place and also beat the Green Bay Packers on Thanksgiving. But first and foremost, we got to take care of the Giants coming up this Sunday. And the Giants are a scrappy football team. They are playing for pride at this point. They will be looking for a new coach come the offseason. And right now, they are one of those teams, man, when what's scarier than the team with literally nothing to lose. Right now, the New York Giants are the worst team in the NFC, and they are opposite the Jets in the AFC. So let's take a look at how the Detroit Lions can earn their way back into the playoffs after week 12. This is coming from ESPN, and this is the most wonderful time of the year for sure for me when we can start talking about playoffs and seeding. So you can see here, I've already done my selections on what I think is going to happen this Sunday. I think the Bills are going to beat the Texans. I think the Colts are actually going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to beat the Chicago Bears. When you look at the Chicago Bears, they have had a ton of miracle wins. Basically, all but one of their wins have been like miracles. They beat the Dallas Cowboys to stop their 0-2 streak to start the season, and they had back-to-back games of 25-24 where they won essentially the same way. Then they pull off the Cincinnati Bengals decide they don't want to tackle, and you look at all these games and you really see, I understand why you guys don't think that the Bears are going to win another game. They did have an epic collapse down the stretch last year, but last year was last year. They wound up going 4-2, lost 10 in a row, and then won the last game of the season to go 5-12 on the season. So I don't think that happens this year, that quite of a collapse. But if they were to win, I think I could see them winning about 2 games or so. But if they win 2 games, that puts them at 9-8, and that we would have to be at least 10-7 to 11-6 to get in. Now, I think we're going to wind up at 11-6, and the NFL standings, their playoff kind of machine and their standing calculations, they have us, even though the Bears are leading the North right now because of their upcoming schedule and the fact that of who we are, they actually have a less % chance to make the playoffs than we do. So I think that's pretty interesting. You can see here that I have the Patriots are going to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. I have the Ravens beating the Jets, who are going to start Tyrod Taylor. I've got the Seattle Seahawks beating the horrendous Tennessee Titans. You know what? Tennessee actually might be the worst team in the AFC. It's either the Jets or the Titans. I think it might be the Titans. I think they only have 1 win. I have the Green Bay Packers beating the Minnesota Vikings. I have, of course, the Detroit Lions beating the New York Giants. I think the Giants are going to give us all they can handle, but we should win this game. So spoiler alert for the prediction video on Friday. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars beating the Arizona Cardinals, the Cleveland Browns beating the Raiders. Shout out to Max Crosby. The Kirk Cousins led Atlanta Falcons beating the New Orleans Saints. Of course, the Philadelphia Eagles beating the Dallas Cowboys. Our former quarterback, Matthew Stafford, beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I have the San Francisco 49ers beating the Carolina Panthers. And if that goes the way that I have predicted, the Detroit Lions will be back in the playoffs at the end of Monday Night Football. All right, but there is that. So that's the silver lining. But here is something even better, and how the NFL is a game of inches. It is a game. Every game is important. So when I hear you say that we can afford to lose this game, get rid of that mentality. You will never, ever hear Dan Campbell or any Detroit Lions player say we can afford to lose a game. You will never hear it. So I want you to get that out of your mind, because that game that you guys were referring to is the Kansas City Chiefs game. And look at that game now. That game is a big deal right now. So get that out your mind. Don't talk about that anymore. All right. So here's how the Detroit Lions can go even higher. If we have some type of upset situation where the Minnesota Vikings upset the Green Bay Packers, then the Detroit Lions will move into the 3rd seed just by that lone upset. If we could get, let me see, does this matter? If the Carolina Panthers, nope. If the Minnesota Vikings upset the Green Bay Packers, it doesn't matter what happens here. So let's go back and let's put these back. Now, let's say that the Bears were to pull off that win, but the Minnesota Vikings pull off that win. That puts us in the playoffs as well. So we need either, if the Bears win, we need a Vikings win. If the Pittsburgh Steelers win, we could use a Vikings win. So it looks like we need a Vikings win, period. But let's say if we have the Green Bay Packers and the Bears winning, but then we have the Carolina Panthers upsetting the San Francisco 49ers. So there's a couple of ways that we can get back in the playoffs. And of course, it all starts with we win our game. But let's give the Pittsburgh Steelers that. I think that's going to happen regardless. But let's give an upset. Let's give an upset to the Green Bay Packers. And let's have it where the San Francisco 49ers are going to win that game. This is the game that we could really see that upset. If this can go that way and everything else goes the way I predicted, the Detroit Lions will go out of the 8th seed, past the 7th seed, and into the 3rd seed. Now, I think I did see a way that they would end up with the 6th seed, and I think I already passed it. That would be if we have the Vikings win, we have the Steelers win, and then if we have the Carolina Panthers win, but make the Bears win, there you go. So if the Bears were to win and get a win over the Steelers, we would need a Vikings win and then a Carolina Panther upset to put the Detroit Lions in the 6th seed. So I don't think the Detroit Lions can they be any higher? No, they cannot be any higher than the 3rd seed, because even if the Rams were to lose that game to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it would, oh my God. Oh my God. This is the first time I've hit this button. So this is what we don't want to see happen. We don't want to see the Rams lose to the Buccaneers, the Bears beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Vikings to upset the Packers, and the Panthers to upset the 49ers. That's what we don't want to see. That would be crazy. That would be absolutely insane. So let's give them back that win and let's put us there. So in all likelihood, the Detroit Lions, because even if the Green Bay Packers win, so all we would really need, let me see. All right, so the Green Bay Packers, if we win, we're back in. All we need to do, because I put the Bears there. Yep, so all we need to do is win. If we win and it goes just like this, let me do that. Nope. I knew something was wrong. So again, I said it right the first time. We don't control our own destiny anymore. Not only do we need to win, but we need help, not a bunch of help, because that comes later. So anyway, man, this is kind of, it's depressing in a way. It really is, because, and that was the wrong transition, but a great transition to this. Subscribe to Syndicate Sports Detroit. We go live every day over there. We actually start doing Pistons content. I made my first Pistons video today. I used to be into the Pistons, but subscribe over there, Syndicate Sports Detroit. We're currently right around almost 5,200 subscribers, man. So we're growing faster over there than we are over here. That's crazy. But so the Lions need a win. Ideally, again, if we get a win, how I think it's going to go, like I said, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win, even if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play. I think that defense is going to step up and make Caleb's life a nightmare. I do think that the Green Bay Packers actually will win. And even if the San Francisco 49ers win, then we're still in. So if it goes just like this, then we will be inside the playoffs. And this is how I think it is going to go. But of course, would not mind a few upsets or two to help out our situation. So that's where I am. Again, this is my most favorite time of year. I love, you have the off season where it's nothing but speculation. Then you have the beginning of the season where you're trying to fill out your team and figure out, like this is when teams are made in November and December. And if you're playing well in December, then you can hopefully carry that into January. But right during the season after that, so the first month, you're trying to shake the rust off. The second month, you're trying to see who's in and out at the trade deadline. What are you going to need? Then in November, all of that's over. You essentially have the team that you're going to go into the playoffs with, give or take a miracle waiver claim or a free agent that decides to come out of retirement or something like that, that you snag to help you make that Super Bowl push. Outside of that, that is your team. And you got guys coming back from IR. And in this case, last year we were kind of getting more injured. This year we're getting healthier. Davenport, whenever he decides to come back. You got DJ Reed, whenever he's eligible to come back. Josh Pascal. You've got guys that can come back and at least contribute in some regard to this team. So again, last year we were getting more and more injured. I think, as a matter of fact, in the next month, we lose Malcolm Rodriguez. We lose we lost Aleem. All in like a year ago in the next month, we lose Malcolm and we lose Aleem in that span of time. So we're getting healthier. Hopefully it stays that way and we can make a push. But Lions need to take care of business, get a win. That's the first and foremost, they need the win. But as of right now, they're going to need some help. The Lions, check this out. The Lions will not be in the playoffs without getting some help. But again, right now we don't control our destiny, but it could be that way. If we split in the division, then that'll change things down the line. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I mean, real talk, it could come to that. It really could come to that. Handle business against the Green Bay Packers or against the New York Giants, and then get that win against Green Bay, get that win against Minnesota. But we play Minnesota and Chicago back to back. Those are our last two games of the season. And it could be, those two games could be a big deal for all teams involved in the NFC North. I think either the North or the West is going to send 3 teams. I mean, it's a possibility. It's a possibility that we can even get 2 teams from the South. So this is crazy, man. November football after Thanksgiving, that December football, man, is outstanding. It is so much on the line. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. We're going to start doing NFL content as well, not on this channel, but on Syndicate Sports NFL. I think that's the name of the channel. I haven't really put anything over there in quite a while, but I think it's Syndicate Sports NFL. So consider subscribing. You should be able to type it. I haven't put any content over there in a while, but I'm about to start. I'm about to start putting general NFL content. So if you love the game of football and you're interested in the NFL, consider subscribing to that channel as well. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. It ain't over yet. It's looking, I don't know what it's looking like in the playoffs, but it ain't over yet. Look, we got to get in first.